Nottingham Forest 1, Manchester United nil. And all I can say is I want my 90 minutes back, or 96 minutes, however long that was. That was absolute trash, bruv. That's what that was. I'm an idiot, because before the game, I was like, oh, you know what? 2 weeks without Premier League football, I've missed it. Looking forward to the game. Do you know what I mean? Predicted United to win the game. I'm like, you know what? Forest went to a penalty shootout a couple of days ago. Our players are fresher. Our manager was telling us he needs more time on the training ground to implement certain things into the team. He had quite a bit of time on the training ground with quite a few players because a lot of these guys didn't go away on international duty. And what do we get? We get a performance as bad as we've been seeing, bro. Like 20 odd attempts on goal, and I can't tell you what those were. Nearly 70% possession and absolutely nothing to show for it, bro. That was an abomination, bro. That was an abomination. Now, I mean, we could turn around and say, oh, yeah, like, there's definitely a lack of quality in attacking areas. Like, there's no two ways about it. There's no dressing it up. But this football is rubbish, guys. It's actually rubbish. Like, Forest, they did what they did against Brighton. These guys are low block merchants. They sit back, stink the place out, yeah, and then they've got pace and power in transition and they try and nick goals, bro. We should be, yeah, defensively street smart enough to not be conceding stupid goals. The goal that we conceded today from Alanga, yeah, Garnacho's got a foul in minute. Do you know what I mean? I see some people waffling about Mazraoui. Mazraoui defended that very well. He side on. There's a player, his player even, on his left-hand side. He's got half an eye on his player. And he's jockeying, yeah, just in case the ball is played to the outside so we can turn and block that off. So he's slowing down the man on the ball. He's doing his job. Someone has to recover, yeah, and make that challenge. Garnacho has to foul him. Garnacho comes in with the weakest little dangling of legs, bruv, and just falls over. If that's Casemiro, he just clips him and takes the yellow card, no problem. There's three players there. You're never getting sent off for that. You take the yellow and, do you know what I mean? It's a professional foul, bro. That was about the most that Garnacho actually contributed to the game. Like, that poor excuse for a challenge in the build-up to the goal. That was about his only contribution today. I don't know how this guy continues to finish football matches. I don't know how he continues to do that. So as much as there's a lack of quality in attacking areas with Manchester United, the substitutions today, again, abysmal. Actually, let's forget the substitution. Let's go back to the starting lineup. I saw the starting lineup and I said it's okay. I've said a million times, anyone that's been here enough times, I've said to you guys, yeah, when we're playing against a team, yeah, that is going to give us the majority of the ball, or we're going to have the majority of the ball, Ugarte does not play. I've said it a million times. When Manchester United are in possession, Ugarte doesn't play. There's a reason why PSG got rid of him. They're a possession-heavy team, and he was surplus to requirements. The manager didn't even want him training with the team, bruv. He's going to have these men train with the under-21s, bro. He was not rating him. On the ball, he's awful, bruv. He's a ball winner. He's a tackler. He's a destroyer. He's a player that you bring in when you're under the cosh. That's what he is. This guy is an away from home, yeah, against the top sides player. This is the guy you bring in, yeah, just to shore things up. You do not start games, yeah, where you're going to have the majority of the ball, yeah, with Ugarte, because he affects our build-up. The amount of times he was giving Cass grenades, bruv, passing him the ball 2 yards away from him, just passing it straight into him, and Cass is having to just hoof it and get rid of it quickly because he's passing man the ball under pressure. And all these things will go unnoticed, and then people will blame Casemiro for turning the ball over, when really he's clearing his lines because Ugarte likes to turn into traffic. He receives the ball, and he never receives the ball with his body open to take a touch. The amount of times Dallo was free on that right-hand side and he just needed to receive the ball, open up, and just pass it right. And he always closes the angle. The ball comes into him and he turns back into the ball, yeah, and closes the angle off, and then he just plays the ball 5 yards to the side, bro. He's a fire hazard. That's what he is. Do you know what I'm saying? And the funny thing is, yeah, when he first came in, I was like, yo, garbage, Gallagher. And people were like, oh, Rants, he was a bit too hasty. And then he had a little patch where he was winning tackles and he was looking all right. And I said, you know what? you know what? I hold my hands up. I might have been wrong. Turns out I wasn't. Do you know what I'm saying? Turns out I wasn't flipping wrong. The guy's crap. No decent team, yeah, that wants to play decent football can thrive with this guy. He's a squad player, bro, for any decent footballing team. That's all he is. No more than that, bruv. And people are going to look at this and think, rah, like, it's not his fault that we lost and that. Bro, people always, when they look at football, people always look at the final action. People always look at the goal, which is a split second, but they never look up to the things that lead to the goal. Playing through the spine of the team, through the defense, through the midfield, and into the forwards. This is how goals are created, bro. Like, we don't really see goalkeepers hoofing the ball straight to the striker and them scoring. Even though you see it at the odd time, it's a rarity. Most of the time, you have to play through your team. Man United struggle playing through that middle phase, yeah, because you've got Bruno, who does grenade launcher, and you've got Ugarte, yeah, who's absolutely diabolical on the ball, bruv. That's the honest truth, bruv. So we look at this team and everyone's saying, "Oh, we need a striker." But bro, no matter who's up front, we're not creating anything that's conducive to a healthy goal tally because we lack creativity. We lack a player that can pass in between the lines. This is why I was screaming, go and get Sanderberg in the summer, and then seeing what he's doing at Fulham, see what he did against us last time we played them. We dropped the bag there, bro. We dropped it, bro. And we need to address that profile of midfielder in the summer. And then when that midfielder comes in, then Amorim needs to decide, is Bruno a 10 or is he an 8? Because Bruno in the 10 is not good. Another game where he's playing higher up and he's rubbish. His best position, yeah, is in the thick of the action, yeah, in the 8 where he can just run around and put himself about and do whatever, bro. His greatest attributes are his availability and the fact that he just runs a lot. That's it. Those are his greatest attributes. People can throw the numbers all around. They don't. The numbers don't tell the full story. Because you look at all the so-called assists and the expected assists that my man's got. And then when you see, yeah, the amount of passes played into the box, yeah, he's first or second for passes played into the box. Those passes into the box come from corners, direct free kicks, and just spamming, bruv. So it's all complete volume. That's all it is. Like, it doesn't tell the full story. And he's become very adept, yeah, at covering up stinkers with getting a stat. And today was a stinker. Today was a stinker. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to isolate him specifically like there were anyone that really played well, because there wasn't. But I'm just trying to reinforce the point that this midfield is our biggest problem. Today he played Xerxes in the 9. First half, he was dropping deep and he was linking well, but also before the game, he was saying that the manager told him not to drop deep because he wants him to play in the 9 and he wants to stretch the pitch. Naturally, when he found himself in deeper areas to connect, he was helping us. But a lot of the game, I said before, he's going to be isolated playing in the 9 up there because, again, we don't have the players in the midfield to shuttle the ball forward to get the ball into his feet and use him. So he was better served in the 10 in the first place. What this manager had in his mind when he took him off and flipping put... Bro, I saw Harry Maguire up front, bruv. We haven't seen Højlund and Xerxes yet in a 2 yet, but we've seen Maguire and Højlund before that. We've seen Maguire and Højlund before GTA 6, blood. Maguire and Højlund up front. Man are going to tell me that's not nothing to do with the manager because the manager doesn't make the substitutions and he doesn't choose who goes on. People are going to say that it's not all right to blame the manager for that fuckery. Because that's what that was. That was fuckery. That made absolutely no sense. No sense. I don't know what he was smoking, bruv. I do not know what he was smoking, but it's a disgrace, bro. Man, I don't never want to see that. Because the thing is, let's be real. If Erik ten Hag, yeah, was playing Harry Maguire up front, yeah, when we were chasing a goal, man would be asking questions, bro. They'll be asking questions. They'll be like, what the Ross is going on, bro? You've taken off a striker to put in a centre-back up front. Mason Mount come on, had one shot and then vanished. Like, what is man doing, bro? What is man actually doing? Like, there's so many things that this guy is doing, yeah, and people just want to overlook it because he's new, yeah. He's a shiny new toy, and these man fancy him, or he speaks really well, and Rants, he's so honest and it's refreshing. You know what's not refreshing? Losing, bruv. Losing to Nottingham Forest. A game that we shouldn't have lost because they're crap. I'll be real. Like, I watched these men against Brighton. These men are low block and inshallah merchants, bro. And we conceded a dead goal, bruv. This game was an absolute stinkfest, bro. Like, at very least, I expect a decent brand of football, yeah? Man are saying, oh, yeah, we ain't got the players. There's teams that have worse players than us that play better football than us. There's teams that have worse players than us that set up defensively better than us. They couldn't score against Brighton the way they scored against us, bro. Brighton don't have better players than us. But defensively, yeah, when we're not playing our low to mid block, yeah, that we actually do well. Once we are defending, yeah, in real time, the way this manager wants us to defend on the front foot, we are so open, bruv. We are so open. What's all this time on the training ground actually, what is it providing this team at the moment? This is an absolute shocker. Absolute shocker, bro. That game was an embarrassment. If this is what the extra time on the training ground gives this team, then, bruv, give us a game every 2 days. Because I saw nothing. I didn't see anything, yeah, that had been implemented that wasn't there before the international break. I saw nothing. There was nothing watching that game, yeah, that I could see today and say, you know what, this is a positive we can take into the Manchester City game or the Newcastle game after that. Absolutely nothing. The same things man's seeing. Bruno's not a 10 in this system. Xerxes isolated in the 9. You got to play him in the 10. Rasmus shouldn't be playing in the 9. He came on and didn't do nothing. Garnacho's not good enough. But this brother told us, yeah, that the physicality is why Anthony's doing well in the Liga. Garnacho spends 99% of the game on the floor, bruv. So where's Garnacho's physicality, bro? This physicality thing's absolute nonsense. This is why I called bullshit on it when he said that. Don't tell me about physicality when Garnacho and Højlund spend most of their games on the floor, bruv. I never saw Anthony on the floor like that. I never saw it. Just say that you just don't like him. Just say that, but don't lie to me, bro. This is a joke. This is what this is. And it's getting to the point now where this brother might as well just play the youth players, bro. Because if this is the kind of football that he's serving us, he might as well make his bed right now and say, all the players that I don't see that have a future here, I'm just not going to play them and just play the kids. Because he's effectively written off the season now. He took over this club 4 points off top 4. And now we're comfortably bottom half of the table. So he's dashed the season away. He's thrown it away. Like, people can talk about, it's the players and this, that, and the other. But the truth is, if Ruud was in charge, our brother that's looking like he's getting relegated at Leicester, if Ruud still had this team, yeah, we would be in the top half of the table. We'd probably be in the top 8 if Ruud was here. That's the reality. So people can talk about the players all they want. Nah, my man's failing right now. The system right now is so one-dimensional and so predictable that teams are not even having to work to keep us from creating chances. And yes, that does improve if we get more quality in the team. But until that happens, he has to figure out another way, bruv. Because City and Newcastle, 2 games I could see us getting nothing from. And honestly, if we play like that, we could get embarrassed. We could actually get embarrassed. So, bruv, I can't lie, bruv. Like, I'm sure this reaction is the same reaction everyone else has. That was absolute crap.